9 years ago. 9 years ago, one of the greatest reveal trailers ever was shown at E3 2014. It showed a man running along the LA Pier, and as he's running, chaos begins to appear behind him. It shows a very silly attitude while showing a serious dilemma, and the game was revealed to be Dead Island 2. Now, the original Dead Island also had a beautiful reveal trailer depicting a family dying in reverse, but the game wasn't very good. It was trying to be funny, but it wasn't super memorable, and with it being made by Techland, who made a superior, however, in my opinion, still a mediocre game of Dying Light, which was Dead Island but with parkour. I don't want to dive into the stuff with Techland and check the article below if I put one. It depends if I'm too lazy or not to know more, because I want to get to Dead Island 2, what this review's about. In between this game coming out, a million other zombie games came out. Their own competitor made a sequel, and even a parody with a damn goat came out first. Seriously, the Goat Simulator 3 trailer is hilarious. It's fun. It's go watch it. But now it's 2023, and we have a new studio in Dambuster Studio who have made a game. It certainly is a game. First, to give an overview before I dive into this game feels like first-time developers. The gameplay is kind of slow. The story is all over it, and well, the variety in the gameplay, weapons, and everything just isn't very high. I think Dambuster has a chance to become an excellent studio, even though they are a subsidized studio to Deep Silver, which in themselves aren't great publishers, because the technical aspects of this game are amazing, because the graphics are like, I'm pretty sure this isn't considered a AAA game. They are beautiful. Honestly, I feel like this studio came out under Deep Silver, and then they were like, hey, we need you to make Dead Island 2, because people have been waiting for it for 9 years. And I think once they're able to make their own creative opportunity, they'll excel much, much more, since, I don't know, it just feels like they're trying to continue off of what Dead Island 1 was, but Dead Island 1 sucks, so it's kind of hard to make a basis of another game. Also, this game has so much history and is one of the most interesting development hell stories that is so in-depth, only beaten by stuff like Duke Nukem Forever, and, is it Forever? I think it's Forever. And maybe, like, Ride to Hell Retribution, which is also another Deep Silver product. Finally, before we jump in, I want to talk about the fact I played this with a friend, and I don't know if that changed my experience, but what I do know is I paid $70 to play this game with him on an Xbox Series S. So not great hardware, and I paid $10 extra than I would on PC, but as soon as I found out it was on Epic Games, I was like, fuck it, I'm not playing this shit on PC. So, fuck the Epic Games Store. We're just gonna use trailer footages, and there's already no spoilers, so it's okay. Seriously, fuck the Epic Games Store. It is so terrible. I paid $10 extra and played on worse hardware because I hate it so much. Fuck the Epic Games Store. Finally, jumping into the game, I want to dive into the gameplay, which seems to be the most talked about part, and I think probably the most controversial part. And what do I think of it? I like it more than most, but I cannot in any way say it's perfect. It's far from perfect, but it's not, I don't think it's as bad as everyone is giving them shit for. In this game, you have a light attack and a heavy attack. You only have 2 attacks, but you get more stuff, and the light attack doesn't affect stamina. And in most zombie games, it does affect your stamina, so a lot of people are just saying, I am fucking spamming my right mouse button, or RT, or R2, or fucking whatever other thing you're playing on, or you play on fucking NES controller, you just hit the fucking triggers over and over and over and over and over, and and you just do that till the zombie's dead. But I think what a lot of people do miss out on, I think what I think what a lot of people miss out on are the heavy attacks, though. Heavy attacks, which I use a lot since they are fun and actually do have a stamina bar, just have more weight to them, and again, they use your stamina bar, so it actually feels like you're hitting someone. But since there is no punishment for using light attacks, it can feel like you, again, just beating simulator and right mouse. I think it's left mouse on PC. I blame script me. Just like hitting that trigger button simulator. And of course that's just not fun. You're not playing Roblox. You're paying a full $70 for a game. Then you have the weapons, which are fine. Some are too slow. Some are fun and cool, but they get boring after a while since they tend to fall into one category. There's like 6 different weapon types, and while there might be multiple weapons in that category, they just like repeat and it doesn't feel any different. Guns also suck. They look like Call of Duty guns, and you'll originally try to aim down like sights, like you're actually like playing COD, but you'll just hit scan everything because it's more accurate than using the sight. So I almost avoid guns the entire playthrough. I had like 4 different ones. Then we get to the crafting elements, which are exactly like Dying Light 2, but unlike Dying Light 2, since there are so fewer moves, you do put elements on your weapons, which is fun actually. The crafting stuff is good and has a lot of variety with what you can put on the weapon, and the way it changes the look of your weapon is really cool. Like if you look in trailers, like it will actually change, and like all the mods you can put on your weapon. Very cool. I actually like that system a lot. Then we have the card system, which devs make out to be like making a build, but it's not. You just pick upgrades with cool art, but some cards have fun changes, so maybe you'll like it. Maybe there's some variety. I don't know. When I expect like build variety, I think of like Borderlands and their skill trees, but no, it feels like you can go in the direction of some ways to fight, but it's very like one way. Finally, all this culminates in the gore system, which I mean, I don't want to I'll say it's literally revolutionary, since only a couple of games have like a gore system so in depth like this and how realistic it looks. I don't remember what the acronym was, but the system is like a blood gore or something. I don't remember what it is. I saw an IGN documentary on this topic, and I'm gonna try to find it because it's super interesting on just like how this was probably the most work they put into this game, into this system, but it's impressive. Yeah, I'll link the IGN documentary. The gist of the system is that wherever you hit the zombie, and based on the weapon, it will affect how the zombie looks. If you hit a zombie super hardly, you fucking smash their skull in with like a heavy attack with like a baseball bat, it will literally crack, and you can see the inside of their brains. Or if you slice the zombie's chest open enough, you can break his ribs, and organs will literally spill out. It's disgusting, and probably my favorite gore system in any game. If you want an example on how good the system in Dead Island 2 is, days before it came out, Dying Light released a gore update to make like their stuff a little more brutal, because they were just like fucking terrified of how this game was going to turn out. Too bad it's worse than Dying Light 2, so they're okay. And even when the combat is boring, the gore makes it exciting as you crush a fucking skull and do finishers, rip off limbs, cut insides. It makes that boring combat so much better, as you just want to see dead fucking zombies get gore and dismembered. It's disgusting but amazing. But besides that, there's not much else. There are 6 survivors with an ability pool, like the cards I mentioned earlier, those share cards, but it really doesn't matter that much, and their stats aren't that much different. If you want to go see them, just like go look it up on the wiki. It really doesn't matter. Just like some are slower, some are stronger, some I don't know, but it's dumb. Now the story. This story is terrible. Now normally I don't like to judge stories since I don't know how to write a story. I didn't go to a writing class or anything, but I just notice when there's like a clunky bad story, and it's this game. And to give Dead Island 2 credit, this isn't just it. Most zombie games have bad stories besides, like, no, The Last of Us. And I'm not going to give bad reps to zombie stories. Some do actually have really good stories. But just, like, the first-person zombie games I'm thinking of in general right now have very bad stories. The first Dead Island has a bad story. Dying Light 2 has a bad story. Dying Light 1 has a bad story, and I will die on that hill. Dying Light 1 isn't that good, and its story is super basic. But honestly, Dead Island 2 might have the worst story in this batch. It's that bad. Dying Light 2 has a story that I don't really know what's happening, but I get the gist of it. The ending is confusing, but I get it. This game lost me, real quick. In the hotel level of the game, I'm so sorry, spoiler people, I just ruined your entire life. There is an hotel level in this game. I'm so sorry. The game began to lose me and my friend, and by the time we arrived at the city level, we were completely lost and didn't know what was happening. And by the end of the game, we literally talked for like 5 minutes after finishing the game, trying to piece together what had happened with like the bits and pieces we did pick up. Honestly, if you want like an example, I recently read, like a couple months ago, I read Dune for the first time, and the exact same thing happened to me. Like, I would just like read and nothing would be picked up. I'd be like, what the fuck just happened? And then I would like pick up the bits and pieces. Thing about Dune is it actually is a good book and has a good story, but like, whatever. In every cutscene they talk for like 10 years, an expedition dump, or 2 minutes, and it doesn't matter at all. So you get lost and don't pick up info. You get these two different types just mixed up. And if you've played the game and don't feel like this, please tell me. Because this game genuinely confused me and got me. I don't know, were my friend and I just oblivious, or like was this story just dumb? I don't know. However, the writing on some side missions and funny, and the jokes can be hilarious. They're like the way that people interact, well, it doesn't make any sense, actually can get a laugh out of me. Some jokes and characters are fun, like Sambi, which isn't a spoiler, he was in the trailer. Boo! And the main trio you meet at the beginning of the game is funny, but overall there's just no redeemable aspects of the story, and the characters you meet later in the game are just not memorable in any way at all. The story just isn't worth it, and if you're looking for anything besides a zombie-killed, gore-filled mess, you're not going to have a fun time with this story, since it is abysmal. Finally, we're going to discuss the world graphics and the performance, just all mass technical aspects together, and shove them in one piece. First, the world is kind of lame. Back in the original Dead Island, they had each area as like sections, which worked since you were like you were contested on an island, so that multiple areas made it feel bigger, since like it was, I think it was 2013 when the original came out. The original came out in 2011, so I'm assuming hardware limitations, but like you don't imagine islands being huge. So with this multiple level thing, they managed to avoid making an open world game and made the island feel bigger. It was smart. But in our Lord and Savior 2023, we should not have this. I know we're tired of open world games, but this game is like a game that would have benefited from being open world. First, in a post Sonic Frontiers world, this game is now a open zone game, as Sonic Frontiers describe it, which is hilarious. Maybe this game is also a Strand-like, but that one's on the fence. As I mentioned, the multiple areas made the island seem bigger, but when you have the entirety of LA, honestly, it just would have worked better if you could explore it all. And with now each of these giant sections feeling enclosed and small, which you shouldn't have when your main setting is LA, you should feel like this is humongous and you have so much area to explore, but you feel zoned off. However, the sections are very well designed. For instance, the beach area with all the gyms is very cool. I think it's called Muscle Beach in real life. Very well accurate. And as someone who's played GTA 5 for almost all his life, this is 100% accurate and you cannot debate me. Sorry, I said that. I had to write that. When me and our friend were playing, we've played GTA 5 together like for a while. So it's just like every time you're like, oh my god, I know that place. It's like, I know that from GTA 5. Sorry, no, that's sidetrack. This is just funny. And they're so well designed that if they were all interconnected, it would just work so much better. And I'm going off script for a second right here. Like, in game, I know I said each area is well designed. They look pretty, but there is nothing to do in each area. There's like 4 side missions in each area, and like they somehow managed to make these like areas with a bunch of zombies just boring, and it sucks. But on the topic of being well designed, this game has beautiful graphics, and I think I mentioned this in the intro, but the lighting and everything is so amazing. People look amazing, and the gore pops, which is how amazing it looks. And I don't believe this is, again, I said this earlier, this is considered a AAA game. So the fact that this looks so nice and is incredible, the Dam Buster Studios, again, could make an amazing game by themselves, and their art direction is incredible with the game looking real, but also it's like a hint of like cartoony. It's very impressive. Finally, I said I wanted to talk about performance. Throughout the entire game, I had a smooth 60 with dips like once or twice, and while I didn't play on PC, I again heard of no drops in frames and a smooth performance, so there's no like technically wrong aspects like every game ever coming out now. However, my friend and I used the multiplayer, and he was constantly lagging with bad connection, and he was teleporting everywhere like Great Tiger from Punch-Out. Now, I heard no complaints online for bad multiplayer, and, well, he claims it isn't that bad. I'm pretty sure he's still on dial-up from 96 at his house, so who knows. I'm sorry, Malika. I love you, but I think it might have been you. But yeah, I think that wraps up Dead Island 2. Now, was this game worth $70? No. God, no. Please, if you are on the fence of buying this game, wait for it to be on a sale in 2 months. You are missing out on nothing, and if your friends want to play it, steal it from their account because they made you play Dead Island 2. I don't think this game is terrible, even though I've been saying bad things throughout this entire video. This game was like a 6. My friend gave it a 4, though, which is from lag and his not hatred of Dying Light, and I feel like I would have given this a 4 in single player with no friend. Like I said, friends might have changed my opinion. No, I probably would have gave it a 5, but it definitely would be worse than a 6 if I didn't play with friends. And looking at the scores, you can definitely see greens in the 6s, 5s, 4s kind of area. I've seen like ranges. You'll always see ranges, but I think I saw like I've been seeing like 5 to 7. So, this is a slow, kind of fun, extremely gory game that is worth your time if you love zombie games or playing with friends. And that's about all I have to say. Yeah, I've got a lot on my plate right now since I've made this video and beat the game. Also, I beat the game in 3 days. Not a great sign. My total play time was like 13 hours and maybe less. I don't know. Whatever. I'm talking about something else. I've beat this game, and next week I've got to play Jedi Survivor. Then I'm going to make a video on it, and then another week later I've got to play Tears of the Kingdom and probably make a video on that too. Why'd I say probably? I will make a video on that, which again is probably gonna be huge. So hooray! I love not having fucking money.